welcome. Welcome to the first review of Mob Psycho 100, Season 3, Episode 1. Now, before we even jump into the meat and potatoes of this episode, I just want to talk about how beautiful this was. Like, the whole episode, I was taken aback with just the art, the style. It's just refreshing to get Mob Psycho. Excuse me. It's just so refreshing to come back and watch the beauty that is Mob Psycho with its god tier animation and just a staff that cares so much about the series, that they go in and work so hard to give us the 10 out of 10 series that is Mob Psycho 100. Now, if you don't know, Mob Psycho 100 is done. Like, the manga is finished. So pretty much right here, this is basically supposedly the last of Mob Psycho. This season could potentially be, depending on how everything is paced and adapted, could potentially be the last of Mob Psycho we will ever watch. And when you think about it like that, it's kind of crazy. Like, wow, all these years have passed. When did Mob Psycho even come out? I don't even remember. It's been so long, but all I know is when it came out, it's been doing nothing but groundbreaking stuff, man. And just going past the boundaries and going above and beyond and changing the way series have been animated or just the style of how writing has been done. That's one thing I always love about the creator of Mob Psycho, also the creator of One Punch Man. I hear everyone mentioning that how Mob Psycho has surpassed One Punch Man. I never like to get into that topic. I never like to get into that debate. I feel like they're both great series for what they are. But look at what we got. One thing I really enjoyed about this episode of Mob Psycho is the realism. It's a feeling that this episode gives you that's so realistic, it's scary. Like, it's able to touch many people. And not in like a weird way. Like, it touches you in a good way, right?
What do you mean by that?
It's a feeling of, this is familiar. I've went through this. The common theme for this episode is Mob is trying to find his life path. Or should I say, life purpose. He's talking to all his classmates. We get to see the Body Improvement Club. We get to see Masato. Everyone. He's talking and he just wants to see, like, hey, what do you guys want to do? It's like he's concerned because he himself doesn't know what he wants to do after middle school. Where does he go? Does he just go to high school? What career does he want? What path does he go? Does he stay with Reagan? You know, it's so many questions and he's at that age. And the thing with this is it's so relatable because we've all went through this. I've went through this. I remember high school and like thinking of like, what do I do after high school? You know what I mean? It's like, and even college, there's people in college who are currently in college who still don't know what to do. And they're questioning, what do I do after college? It's just a thing in this world where you don't have the answers. And it's like, you have to take this journey of life to find the answers. And I love how Mob Psycho was able to implement. I feel like this is the first I've seen an anime do this personally. I can't think of any other anime that's handled this type of topic. Not saying that there isn't one, there obviously probably is, but the way it did it so naturally. You know, we first start off the episode with, you know, exercising a spirit, right? And now we have Serizawa working with Reagan and Mob, and you're thinking to yourself, oh my god, this is a dream team. We have two exorcists, and then we got Reagan the scammer who's just scamming everyone, right? And as you're watching, you know, not only is Mob already questioning what he wants to do, but he's observing his surroundings more. Like, he's seeing how Reagan now has Serizawa. That's what I got from this. Like, he sees that, okay, Reagan now has Serizawa, so he's, you know, at least he doesn't have to depend on me anymore. And I mean, maybe not like per se depend, but he doesn't need me as much as he used to need me. I feel like that's thoughts that were running into Mob's head. And as we're exercising these spirits, Mob is still questioning what he wants to do. And as the episode progresses, we meet this one guy who's like 50 years old, and he's talking about how shitty his life is. And honestly, he blames everything on his spirit, but if you ask me, his life is shitty because of his bad decisions, right? He's made a lot of bad decisions, which leads the question to, all right, if I make a bad decision, what do I do? Like, my life is literally on a thin string right now, and if I make one bad decision, I'm screwed. And that's not necessarily the case, right? And Mob is wondering, he's like, hey yo, what if I make a bad decision? I know I haven't decided on anything just yet, but I feel like sometime in the future I will make a bad decision. It's a lot on his plate. He's hearing things all around the place from different people, but he himself doesn't know. You know what I mean? Like, people can tell you, people can give you answers, but they cannot give you results, right? Like, they can tell you things you want to hear, but they can't give you the results. So Mob is hearing all of this, and when we get to the final job at hand, where we talk to this old man who claims that he has a spirit around him and whatnot, and he's talking about how shitty his life is, how his life used to be better, how he's losing his hair, how his house is dirty because he has all his valuables here, and you just see the way he's living his life. He influences Serizawa and Mob. Like, literally, they're able to relate with him, and they're looking at their life. Even Serizawa at a point is realizing, like, hey yo, I haven't did shit with my life. Like, I'm getting old. I'm getting older and I haven't done anything. And you seeing that, I felt like was one of the highlights of the episode. Like, how these questions are being asked, these deep questions with so many layers to them are being asked. And it's development, right? It's development on Mob's end, because of all these questions and everything that's on Mob's plate, Mob decides he wants to leave Reagan. He decides that, you know, it's time for him to find his passion, to find his path. And that's beautiful, right? Because if you think about it, in the long run, Reagan only did all of this and kept everything going because of Mob, right? Reagan, like he says, and like we see in the episode, Reagan took a chance. He hated his job, he was bored of it, and he said, F it, I'm gonna do my own thing. Bam, created his own company. And, you know, we exercise spirits and whatnot. But Mob came in the mix, and that gave him a reason to keep doing what he was doing. It gave him a reason not to stop and keep pursuing. Hence what he tells Mob, basically, yo, listen, do what you want to do. At the end of the day, just do what you want to do. You can stay here, you can go, it's fine. As long as you're doing what you want to do, that's all that matters. And I feel like that was such a beautiful message to tell Mob at that moment, because it's like, it's a simplistic message, right? And it goes well for anyone. Do what you want to do. It's your life. You only have one life. So do what you want to do. Go where you want to go. Work whatever job you want to work. Don't ever let anyone influence you or try to dictate what you do. You know what I'm trying to say? Because it's your life and you only have one. And I love, the one line that I love that Mob mentions is, he says to Reagan, he's like, if I stay here, I feel like all that's ever going to change is my age. Basically saying that he can't grow where he's currently at. All that will ever happen is he'll just get older, but he won't develop and become better. He won't even have a change in mind or anything like that. And I agree. Yeah, Mob has to go out there. He has to explore the world. He can't just stick with Reagan. You know what I mean? He can't be stagnant in that sense. He has to do things differently. And hey, who knows? Maybe by him going out there, he will see what he has or what he truly wants is with Reagan. Or maybe he'll realize that he's better off without Reagan. You know, this was long awaited. I felt like the episode in itself, like before it even got to the end where Mob basically quits, it was building up to Mob quitting. Like, I thought Mob was going to quit earlier in the episode, but he did it at the end, which was, you know, really fantastic. This was a really good episode to start off like Mob Psycho. It's kind of crazy how relatable it is. I love when a series can get deep down and make you question and think about your life. I know a lot of people think that's weird, or they're like, oh, it's just an anime. How can an anime make you think about your life? No, man. The whole point of anime is it's to make you think. No one's just writing and creating a series for you not to think about it. You know what I mean? Or a series for you not for it to affect your life. These creators, they're making these characters, they want to make them feel real. They want to give you a connection. So when people say, oh, why are you crying because that anime character died? Or, oh, why do you feel like this is affecting your life? Why are you letting this impact your life? It's like, Bro, that's the whole point of this. Anime is supposed to make you feel something. And it's not even just anime, but TV. All these forms of media that is created, art, TV, all of that. It's meant to make you feel something. And when a series, an art piece, or whatever is able to captivate that and make you feel something, you know it did a fantastic job. I love Mob Psycho 100. This is why Mob Psycho 100 is always going to be at the top. Because it does things like this. It makes you question, it makes you think about life. It's relatable. It's relatable. It's not trying to it's not trying to fit in the box that anime has. It's making its own box for itself. It stands out above other series. That's like literally why it's top. And man, I love it. I freaking love it. And look, I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna be honest. I was hating on the opening. Look, I'm not really. Look, this opening, obviously, I love Mob Psycho opening 1 and 2. And this opening, I wasn't really feeling it too much. Don't get me wrong. But as I listen to it and listen to it some more, it's actually pretty good. It's not as bad as I'm making it out to be. It's actually pretty solid. A few minor things we also got with this episode is, of course, the broccoli. The big broccoli that appeared because of Mob. We have a little bit on that and how it's affected society. We've seen a bit of Mob's cult, the cult that follows Mob, the metalhead, whatever they called him. Metalhead, was it? It's something along those lines, I believe. I believe it's metalhead. So answers are coming. Like I said, Mob Psycho, the manga is completely finished. So this right here is the final of Mob. This is the finale. So everything is getting answered. All the loose ends. Everything that you guys have questions about, whether you have questions about Claw, what happened to the organization, what happened to all the stranding members, whether you have questions about the cult with Mob, whether you know people's motives, what's gonna happen in the future, Mob and Subumi as a character herself, everything comes to the forefront here. We get all our answers here, and I can feel it, and I'm very excited for this. This was an amazing episode to start you off with, get you in the series, and I really can't think of how episodes are gonna go from this point onward. Like, now Mob is not with Reagan, so what is going on now? What are we gonna be seeing? What is gonna be animated for us? You know what I mean? What is episode 2 going to be like? I know they showed us a little clip at the end, but I never watch those. Like, come on, why would I spoil myself? I'll just wait till the episode comes out and watch it. But also, guys, if you do want to see my reaction to Mob Psycho 100 Season 3, Episode 1, the link will be down in the description, a Google Docs drive that you can click on, download, whatever, and you can check out my full reaction to that episode, which was so great. Thank you so much for spending your time here with me and watching this review. If you made it to the end, you, sir or gal, are amazing. Peace!